Hi, and welcome to the Dingers Podcast, episode 36. This is Mitch, your host. I'm here with my boys, Kevin and Jeff. How are you guys tonight?
Not bad. How are you two doing?
Oh, surviving.
Yeah.
It's April.
We're almost done with school. We're almost done, Kevin. We can push through.
I saw a countdown started. Give or take. I think the countdown I saw today was something. I haven't started my personal countdown yet.
Oh, I haven't either, but I can't wait. Summer's soon to be here in freedom. So this weekend, I was back in Northeast Iowa at my childhood home, and I found a box full. And I mean, like, I had 2 boxes, like big, huge totes full of baseball cards. And I remember growing up collecting baseball cards, and I had a lot of them. But I didn't realize, now looking back, when you like open up the box and you're like, oh, I have the whole 90s top set, and it's not even opened. I have the whole like 89 score pack, and it's not even opened. I have the Upper Deck 91 set, not even open. It's like, okay, now what do I do with all these cards? And so I went through some of them. I found some good Cubbies cards. I found like a nice Rick Sutcliffe card. Found my favorite, which I called the Wild Thing, Mitch Williams with his blue glove. I remember that was like my thing. That, like, growing up, I always wanted to have a blue glove like Mitch Williams.
Of course you would, you weirdo.
I mean, he had the nice bullet growing out the back, and then he gets blamed for a World Series loss with Philly. So, I mean, Philly fans hate him.
So what happens when you try to pitch yourself into a save situation?
I mean, if you can't get a save, you got to make it somehow. Found a lot of Ryan Sandberg cards.
And if you guys are in the market for a Chris Sabo, Mitch is your dude.
Ooh, yeah. I have Chris Sabo cards like crazy. So if anybody wants some Chris Sabo cards, hit me up. I got myself some Chris Sabo cards. The thing is, I'm like, I have all these cards. I'm trying to figure out, like, what do I do with all these baseball cards?
You would think there was somebody out there on the internet that's looking for the entire 1990s top series that's unopened.
Well, the thing was, like, they used to be so like expensive, like they were worth something, and now like you look them up and they're like, they ain't worth nothing.
Like, not even the cardboard they're printed on.
Yeah, and so it's like I'm trying to figure out, what do I do?
Unless you got a Daryl Strawberry that's still got the Coke residue from the gum on it, you got nothing.
What I'm planning on doing is, so I'm coaching my son's little league team. And I'm going to start giving out Mr. Hustle and Mr. Teammate Award. And the winner of those awards, every single practice and games, is going to get a baseball card. And so I'm going to give them a winner a baseball card. So one, they get to learn a little bit about baseball history by getting like a Chris Sabo or a Sandy Alomar or a Nolan Ryan or George Bell.
Is Sandy Alomar the one that spit on the umpire?
No, it's the one that played for Cleveland. Yeah, probably. Yep.
That sounds right.
I have one of those. I have a Daryl Strawberry, Gary Sheffield with the Brewers. So I'm going to start giving these cards away. And so that's one way to kind of get rid of them, and then to teach our youth a little bit about baseball history.
You could also teach them to put them in their bicycle spokes like our fathers did, and ruin every expensive card that was worth anything.
Yeah. I mean, I remember having like the Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card was like the thing. I had that. I remember growing up, we didn't do a lot of basketball, but I did dabble in little basketball cards. I had 2 Michael Jordan cards, like doubles of it, that were worth like $200. And so I think those are locked away in our safe, but they're probably worth like $5 now.
Yeah, nothing like
right.
People don't understand.
Yeah,
it's not worth anything.
That's what I.
But it wasn't
saturated with mystical gaming cards, so.
Well, that's what I went to go look for cards, like current baseball cards, like at Walmart and different. Everything is sold out. They're all like Pokemon cards, but they're all the trading cards are all sold out. So I don't know if like there has to be some nerds out there that like are just taking all the cards in those stores. Like, I don't know where you can get a pack of like Upper Deck baseball cards. I don't even know if they do that anymore. I've been out of the baseball card game for so long. It's like I need to get back into this. But I did find one pack, so we found one pack and started opening them up, and it's like there's some Cubs, like there's a Schwarber card, there was an Albert Almora, and Ken gets all excited, my son, to like, oh, it's a Cubs card. It's like, yeah, he doesn't play with them anymore. So
whoopsies.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I did this weekend. Let's do a bunch of baseball cards.
I got a couple boxes under the desk out in the other room. I should go through them. I know at one point I had a whole bunch of Barry Bonds cards because he was one of my favorite players growing up. And then I quit paying attention to baseball for a little while, and I quit collecting the cards, and I'm sure they're all still stacked. Jeffy, how you doing? I hear you got some health issues.
Yeah, my trick knee's acting up again. It must be the weather.
Yep.
But no, I went to the doctor tonight and had an x-ray because it feels like somebody's trying to hammer a railroad spike into my knee. He gave me an anti-inflammatory, told me not to go to the gym for a few days. Give it a try later. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't know. I wasn't a big card collector growing up as a kid. Like, if I got any extra scratch from my parents, I was going to, I was buying candy. I mean, you got one piece of gum and a pack of cards, and the flavor lasted 23 milliseconds.
Yeah.
Right.
Give me the king-size Snickers, please.
I mean, I just remember every single time us taking the half-an-hour trip to the closest local Walmart, and I mean, that's what I got as like a reward for being good in the store and not driving my mom nuts.
And the car.
It was a pack of cards. As we were leaving at the checkout, she'd buy me a pack of cards, and so that's what we had was a pack of baseball or basketball cards.
That makes sense.
You know what I got for being good in the car and in the store?
Not beat
anything. I didn't get hit. Well, let's recap this Brave series with the Cubs. I mean, the first game, what did we lose? 5-2. I don't even like that game. I think flew by so fast, and like I think the only highlight we had was a Contreras dinger. Besides that was a pretty bland game. But on Saturday, our bats broke out. We had a dinger party and won 13-4. It was it was just fun to watch that baseball game. I mean, the whole season's just been like a drag, and you have to kind of like trudge through watching Cubs games, which I want to watch and have excitement. And it's like, and finally we get one of those games where the bats break out. We see guys taking good at bats, and we see a lot of dingers. And then last night, the Braves kind of flipped the switch on us, and they had a dinger party and did not look good.
First inning.
Right away. I mean, I was driving back and listening to it on the radio because thank goodness I didn't have to listen to the ridiculous.
I tell you what, I couldn't get like the radio synced with the TV, so I had to listen to that Jagoff fraud. And I think I would rather have somebody stab out my eyeballs and then jam out anything that has anything to do with anything hearing wise, because he's got to be the worst color analyst in baseball. And I really hate when he's on the postseason pregame.
Oh yeah, I remember
he's terrible.
When he was with the Cubs when they were in 2016, and it was like him, Pete Rose, and Frank Thomas. It was like, oh my goodness, Jesus. These hot takes and horrible takes, and oh man,
Frank Thomas and Pete Rose fighting with each other, like that was the best part of it. Other than that, their baseball commentary sucks.
I mean, nobody wants to listen to him. Even J-Lo doesn't want to listen to A-Rod anymore. That's why they're getting a divorce. It's like, gosh. And then she gone. And then like on top of it, like he disrespects my first baseman, Rizzo, and talks about the trade market with him, and he's going to the Yankees. And it's like, shut your dirty mouth, A-Rod. I don't want to hear you in your hot takes of where Rizzo is going to end up. I want to hear it right now. We're already getting smoked at this point. Like just shut up.
No, I mean, I can't believe that there would be that many players on our teams that would be sellouts, like former Boston players that go play in Boston and then they go get paid in New York.
Yeah.
I can't see that.
Right.
Besides, I mean, who wants to be told how long your hair can be and if you can grow a mustache or a beard or facial hair? I'm a grown ass man. If I want to be unkept, I'll be unkept.
We know, Jeff. We know.
Well, I was thinking, when was the last time ESPN had some good analysts and good commentators on? I mean, like
Joe
Morgan. I mean, we're lucky that we have Boog. Boog, when he did ESPN the last couple of years, and he will do spot like broadcast throughout this year. He's good. I don't mind Boog, but you go back through like the last one, Joe Morgan, I didn't mind. John Miller, when they were kind of together, they did like way back in the day. I think it was in like the 90 to 90,
like the beginning of Sunday Night Baseball.
Yeah, like he was pretty good. Like I don't mind him. Steve Phillips, I didn't care for at all.
Like for me, to get pumped up and excited about watching a game, the voice of it has to grab me.
Yep.
And like there was some previously, like in the last 6 to 8 years, there were some announcers that like would really make me get excited about the game that's about ready to start. Last night, I'm like, fuck, I gotta listen to this shit.
Yeah.
Right. I just hearing about Pierce makes me think of when the Royals were in the World Series and there was those like 2 or 3 guys who created their own broadcast and would put it out across the internet so that you could sync it with the telecast, so you wouldn't have to listen to Joe Buck.
Yep.
Like that was their whole thing, and that's going around and stuff. And I was just like, yep. I listen to a lot of games on mute, other than when they're Cub broadcasters. But
I mean, it's like Joe Buck and then Alex Rodriguez now. It's like real close. Like I can't stand Joe Buck, but they're right neck and neck right now.
So Joe Buck is going to do the next 2 weeks of Jeopardy. Are the ratings for Jeopardy going to go down the shitter now?
Watch people,
right?
People. It's the same thing. People love to hate watch, and so you'll see like the ratings go up. Same with like Sunday Night Baseball. Like people will watch it just to like find things that A-Rod talks about that are stupid and like just nitpick it. So like people now will just hate watch it. Yeah. Like so.
Yeah. I may have called him a douchebag on Twitter 4 years ago.
I mean, yeah, and like some of the other ones, I mean, I didn't care for. I did like John Kruk. I will say, like, I mean, I thought he's pretty entertaining. He had some good baseball stories. Yeah. And he was a pretty good, I feel, analyst. Like I feel like he could broadcast a game. He was pretty decent, but man, and for being Sunday Night Baseball and nationally broadcast, if that's what the common fan or like the guy who just tunes in to watch one baseball game a week, and that's what they have to listen to explain a baseball game, that's sad.
It is. It's terrible. And can they really afford to get anybody with all the money they spend on locking up rights to all these championship games, all this other shit? You know, I don't know how much they can ride the Star Wars shit to keep them from going under, but at some point, ESPN's not going to be that great.
Don't worry, Disney, I'm pretty sure has enough money. They're not hurting.
I mean, that's pretty much what's keeping them afloat, is that Star Wars franchise.
Well, let's talk about the offense. Hey, we hit some baseballs finally. I mean, after the Brewers series and not being able to hit at all, and I was a little bit nervous going into this Brave series, we did hit. And one thing, like, I have to like get off my chest. Like, I am a big Javi Baez fan. I love the way he plays the game. I know people on Twitter get frustrated with Javi, and I get it. He can be very frustrating to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take the good with the bad.
And you do. And like what really gets me is people like, oh, Javi with an amazing home run. I love it. And then the next day they're like, Javi's striking out 3 times. They need to get rid of him. Like, oh, they probably should bench him for a little bit. It's like, oh my goodness, pick a side, be consistent. Right, and one thing people have to understand with Javi, and they've watched him for years now, and they refuse to accept that you have to accept the good with the bad. In the end, he will level out, and he will be the guy who you expect. Even now, like his batting average and all of his numbers are starting to even out to his career level. And so, like, yeah, he had a great 2019. He had a great 2018. It's like we aren't going to get quite that level of Javi.
I don't know what people expect to see out of a ball player. Like, who the hell's going to hit a home run every day? Would you rather see a guy get a couple of dingers one game and then maybe the next game that it's not such a hot day at the plate? Or would you rather have somebody go up there and go 1 for 3 and get some lazy ground ball single up the middle?
Well, I think people get frustrated more with Javi's approach at the plate.
Because his strikeouts are atrocious.
But he's a free swinger. He is a free swinger. And you have to understand that that's been Javi from day one. And he has done things throughout his career. He has changed his approach. You can't say he's doing the same thing they did when he first came up, because he was way worse. He had a way worse, really long swing. He's shortened it up a little bit. The thing is, the same pitches are getting him, and he makes the strike zone a lot bigger by swinging at things out of the zone. But sometimes he hits those, and they come at great times. And the problem is we need Javi on the base paths more than anything, because he creates problems on the base paths, and he's aggressive. And so it's like, I don't like people that are like, well, don't be aggressive at the plate, but be aggressive everywhere else. Be aggressive out in defense, because we love your tags, we love your dive, we love your aggressiveness there, but we don't like it at the plate. It's like you're trying to change the player. And one thing from being even a coach, it's like you kind of have to accept who they are as a player and learn how to use that to your benefit to make the team better. And that's where I think we're struggling. It's like the problem with the Cubs offense for so many years is that they're all kind of the same thing. They're all pretty similar. And so when a pitcher who kind of will know how to get, if he knows how to get one of them out, he knows how to get all of them out, because they all do the same exact thing. And so that's the tough thing with Javi. He extends a little bit. So they just need to take what they did with Bryant to get him out on a fastball up and in. What do they do with Javi? They just go a little bit higher and he'll swing at it. And so it's not much of a tweak when they throw their slider low and away. What do they do to Javi? They just throw it a little bit further. So so he has to reach a little further, and then he swings and misses. And so it's like, and you have to understand, hitting is hard in the major leagues. I'm just gonna say it. Like, if people at all follow Pitch Ninja on Twitter, and you will see the overlays of major league pitchers throwing, and they're throwing their fastball and their curveball and their changeup all from the same arm slot, the same arm speed. It's coming out, and about halfway to the plate, then it's changing direction. It's like hitting is hard.
Yeah, what is it?
We have to give.
Is it 55 feet from the rubber to home plate, or is it 60?
60 feet 6 inches.
Okay, so in about 30 feet, you got to decide where the hell this ball is going.
So I mean, I don't like to make excuses, but like,
it's hard.
It is hard, and so we have to understand. And so ride the highs with the lows with Javi, and love that you are getting an opportunity to watch him in pinstripes every day, have fun, and play the game. And that's why, like, I want
pinstripes,
Chicago pinstripes. But that's one reason why, like, my son loves to watch him, and why I wanted my son to, like, hey, watch how Javi plays. He plays all out. He's going to give you everything he's got. He's going to dive into first base like he did in the first inning yesterday. He's going to do the things, like, he's playing hard. And that's what I love about Javi. And I've always loved about him, because he's going to give you everything.
Yeah, he is magical to watch, hence the El Mago. But he's a guy, he gives 100% all the time. He doesn't hold back at all, and that's what we love it when he's running the bases, and we love it when he's playing in the field. But for some reason, we get ticked off when he's in the batter's box. I mean, wasn't it a couple of years ago where he pretty much like just tossed his bat and got a bloop single at it, and he literally had to let go of his bat, and everybody was like, "Wow, that's amazing!" And it's one of those, like, well, he still does that today, and he chucks his bat almost at the pitcher.
Last Monday, when he tried to do that against the Brewers pitcher and missed, and he looks like a fool.
Right.
Because he threw the bat at the pitcher, basically.
Right. Well, it's one of those. It does look ridiculous when he misses, but when he hits on what his, going all out, it looks fantastic.
Yep. One thing we did hear yesterday that came out is that Javi apparently turned down an extension before the 2020 season. It was $180 million. We're not quite sure on the length of it. I'm guessing between 6 to 9. That's a lot of dough that he bet on himself to make more. That's kind of along the same lines of what Xander Bogaerts got. What are your thoughts of him turning that down?
I don't think he's going to get offered anything more.
Yeah, especially as 2020 and how things are going this year.
Then the next offer might be less.
Yeah.
And I think he could gamble on free agency and get a lot less.
Well, and I think he was betting on himself after that 2018-2019 year, and the league, it has not looked great since. I don't know. No. I agree. I don't see him getting more than that. I'm interested to see if he'll kind of Dexter Fowler it and grab a 1-year contract and go out and try to show what he has, and try to get another one. Also said he wants to play for the Cubs, so we'll see.
I mean, I bet he's kicking himself now. Like, man, like I just gave up some money, especially with when the pandemic hit and then money issues were all across baseball. I bet even that, like, he's like, oh man, I maybe have made a mistake there. Hey, can I go back and get that offer? Like the one that you gave me back then. Yeah. And
I'm curious how I would handle that situation if I was a major league ball player and I got to do something that, like, yeah, it's a job, but it ain't a job. Like, you can play baseball every day. Like, you don't have to go punch a time clock and grind it out in some hot factory, putting the same car part on the same fucking car, and the only thing that's different is it's a different color. I mean, would I be greedy? I don't know. I'd really like to be in that situation and know what kind of thoughts pop in your head. Like, I can feed my family on $180 million. What are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And you want me to eat store brand cottage cheese? No, not happening.
Other bright spots this weekend. I mean, we do have to keep going back to like the Bodie and Sogard situation, because I mean, Bodie's hit the ball extremely hard this year, and you see him make really good contacts, and his numbers aren't showing the production. This weekend, you saw him hit the ball. He had a home run on Saturday. He hit the ball really hard a couple times, and it's like he needs to get more playing time at second base and not do the stupid switch and put Sogard. I'm sorry, like Sogard would be a real good. Like, he just doesn't hit the ball very hard. Like Kevin, we were watching the game a little bit at school the one day, and he hit it, and it was like, man, that's a really good swing. And it was like a lazy fly ball, like liner to the outfield. It's like, okay, if anybody else would have hit that, that'd have been off the wall or in the stands. Right. But he has no pop, no power.
That's what his swing always looks good, and it makes a good sound. And every time I'm like, oh yeah, wait, the outfielder didn't have to move. Like, crap.
Yeah. But like Bodie, I just like Bodie. I like what he's been doing. I like that he's been in there a little bit more. I like they got 3 starts this weekend in Atlanta. Just need to see him get the ball rolling a little bit more. One real big bright spot is Rizzo got on this weekend. He went 3 for 4 on Saturday, and then he hit 2 dingers yesterday, which helped my cause in our dinger challenge. I had Rizzo yesterday, and he hit 2, so that's 2 more points in my tally. So I'm taking a commanding lead, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the dinger challenge. But Rizzo, like, the big thing is just plate appearances and his approach at the plate. He's been doing a lot better with his approach, and you just see his hacks. He's seeing the ball a little bit better. So yeah, I'm happy to see Rizzo doing a little bit better.
Now, speaking of Rizzo doing a little bit better, Jeff, who do you keep picking for the dinger challenge?
I keep picking Jock. And I tell you what, he had an impressive spring training, but I don't know if I was kind of thinking about this today, and with the weather that we have here in the Midwest, like he played in California for how many years? He was playing spring training in Arizona. Maybe he's just a gigantic pussy and can't handle the cold weather like effect.
Maybe
it could be. It could be. I
have a theory that maybe he was just a huge DMX fan, and that DMX passing away, it was just too much for him. He's just been rattled ever since, and he can't swing a bat because he just emotionally spent with DMX gone. Rest in peace.
Maybe. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to him heating up about mid-May when the weather straightens out in Chicago.
So why do you keep picking him now?
Yeah,
so why do you keep picking him now for
I'm
dingers?
not going to pick him anymore. And here's what's going to happen. I'm going to quit picking him, and he's going to get hot and start hitting a bunch of dingers.
And then Eric, who listens, also picks him up quite a bit. He always comments on our posts. He picks Jock a lot and is wrong. So, but I will say this with Jock. The last two games, his approach at the plate has been a lot better. You can see that he's seeing the ball a little bit better, and so hopefully maybe things are turning around. He's not shivering.
You know how really cold you start to shiver and your eyes start to water and it makes everything fuzzy? Maybe that's what's going on.
Well, maybe he needs to take off his sunglasses.
Some Chris Sabo glasses.
The biggest two bright spots has been KB and Contreras, and like. We've talked about KB a couple podcast episodes ago. Like KB, he is gonna. I told you, watch out. He is gonna win the MVP. He's putting up MVP numbers right now. KB for MVP. Like you have to understand, he was injured those last 2 years. Everybody's just ragging on him for the last 2 years. Had to watch Cubs Twitter of everybody talking trash about KB and talk about trading him, get rid of him. It's like no. Extend the man. His approach at the plate and his swings, like the argument of who's the better Cub player, is it Javi or is it KB? I don't know. Like they're my like 1A, 1B. They're both really good. KB is definitely the best hitter on our team. Javi's the best defender. It's a push for who's the best Cub player, but KB, the thing that I love to see this year with KB at the plate is the one pitch that would always get KB is the up and in fastball. And I think it goes back to when he got hit in the hand and got hit in the head. He's always been a little bit leery since then of things out over the plate. You always see him kind of jumping back, anything on inside. But if you go back to the game, I think it was on Saturday, there was the pitch that he hit the second home run on. He gets a fastball up and in, and he gets the barrel of the bat out there and he drives for a 2-run shot. And that's what you love to see. There's a different approach at the plate this year for KB, and you see him driving the ball more than they have. I mean, he has more home runs already this year than he did all of last year. And so you're just seeing more competitive at bats. He's going with the pitch and hitting the apple, even if I have to just dump one in there. He's doing the things that you need to do, getting his on-base percentage up, his slugging percentage is up. Man, I can't wait to see him at the end of the year, what these numbers are going to look like. Just hopefully that we extend him and don't trade him.
Right. His swing looks so natural. He pops the ball and it's out of the yard right away, but it's not like he's swinging and chucking his shoulder all the yard or anything. He's so natural, such a sweet looking swing. I love it.
Well, and you see so many hot takes of people like, no, we need to trade him. It's like, okay, here's my idea for you guys. How about we do trade him? If we are out of it, I say, let's trade him. But you know what? I hope Jed also goes, hey, Chris, we're going to trade you for some minor leaguers. We're out of it. We're going to stockpile our minor league. But you know what this offseason I'm going to do? I'm going to call you every day, and I'm going to offer you a nice contract. I'm going to be talking to what's his
Scott Boras.
I'm going to be talking to Mr. Scott Boras. we're gonna get you back here in pinstripes, playing in the federal landmark that is Wrigley Field. How about that? I mean, if we're out of it, do that. But he needs to be playing in Wrigley Field for the Cubs next year. He's too good. If you look at the third basemen around the league, he is too good to just let walk away. Oh, that's my
absolutely.
take.
Jeff, what do you think?
Oh no, I totally agree. Look around the league. So all you Chris Bryant haters, I want you to look around the league at all the third basemen in this league and tell me which one would you take over Chris, and how much cheaper do you think they would be? You know what I mean? I mean, there's just not a lot of with Nolan Arenado in St. Louis. I mean, who else plays the hot corner that you could?
That would be legit up to KB standard. Like, there's nobody that's going to put up the offensive numbers and hold down third base as well in the National League. I mean, even across baseball. I mean, there's some good ones. Rendon's good. Chapman with the A's is good. Like, there are some really good third basemen. But KB, like, his WAR, I think right now his WAR is rated 9 in all of MLB. I think it's 4 in the NL. Like, you're not going to find somebody. Yeah, you may save a little bit of money, but you're giving up a franchise player. So, let's not talk about next year. Let's talk about right now and be appreciative of what we get right now. We get to watch the players that we've loved for the last 6-7 years play baseball every day. Let's appreciate that and love that opportunity that we get instead of complaining about it, and support our players. So,
right. Yeah, we're not playing hot right now. We're not winning a lot of games. We're not winning a lot of series, but there's plenty of baseball left. It's not even May yet. It's not May until next Saturday. Calm down. It'll be fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Somebody else.
That's I tweeted out today. I think it was like, hey, remember, off day. Let's breathe. KB is still really good. Javi is still Almago. And Anthony Rizzo still has a dog named Kevin. Everything is okay.
Everything's fine.
We're all fine. We're all good.
I can't believe Rizzo named his dog after you, Kevin. So awesome.
Hey, Jeff, I'm kind of a big deal. I don't know if you know this, but speaking of folks changing it up at the plate, Contreras has looked a bit different lately. Standing tall in the box, seems to be really seeing that ball well coming in. Picking his pitches, whether he's getting hit by him or he's getting walked by him.
I'd be a little upset if I got hit 7 times already this season.
Oh, and
we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
Right.
This way. Let's talk about the good things, the positive things that he's doing first.
Yeah, and he's getting all those high up and in pitches, but he's actually starting to hit that high heater as well. And I noticed just this weekend he kind of started accepting those hit by pitches, and his stats are kind of showing it. Like, yes, he's going to get hit, and he's kind of, I don't know, I think it was that first Atlanta game that had 4 or 5 batters get hit by a pitch just in that game, and he was one of them. And seemed to take it, trot down the line, be on the base paths, but then he turned around the next at bat and just rocked the ball.
Yeah, his 2 dingers on Saturday. Like, one, I liked it that he hit one oppo, and then the next one he turned on it. Like, he got a curveball away, and you could just see, I think from him standing up in the box a little more, he's tracking the ball and going with that pitch, and you could just watch it. And I think Marquis did one in slow motion, and it was just like you could see him tracking that ball and driving that oppo. And then the next one, he got a up and in fastball and just daddy hacked it out of here. And so, yeah, Contreras, dude, he's another one. It's like, yeah, we have him under contract for a little bit longer than the rest of these guys, but how about we just shore him up and extend him like we did it with Hendricks, we did it with Bodie. Why not we do it with one of the best catchers in the game too?
Wouldn't it be nice to know that he's going to be your backstop for the next 7-8 years?
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
It'd be nice.
All right, let's
But
move on
speaking
to
of Willie, we'll jump to the drama, as you will.
Man. So Willie has been hit 7 times in 14 games against Milwaukee. And one directly in the head that resulted in Tapera, who isn't guilty, or who is guilty, by the way. Let's he's guilty of what he did. He did throw at Woodruff. Threw at Woodruff. Did he hit him? No, he didn't hit him. And then Contreras after the game, like, interviews, and he talks about, I think that's probably why MLB took exception to is what the words that Contreras said. And it's like, yeah, we did throw at him, like, but things need to be said. But like this whole suspension of Ross, of Tapera, of the Barcelo, like
the game plan coach. Yep.
This is ridiculous. Like, so they're did they hit anybody? Not one thing was hit.
No.
And they're getting more suspensions than any Astro player got cheating to win a World Series. They got more suspensions, or almost just as long as a suspension as when Bryce Harper knocked out what was his name?
Hunter Strickland.
Hunter Strickland back in the day, decked him in the face after getting hit by a ball. He got 4-game suspension, and Tapera got a 3-game suspension. And Tapera didn't even hit Woodruff.
Right.
I'm interested to see what the White Sox Adam Eaton will get for a suspension, if anything. It's ridiculous. Right. MLB's inconsistency on suspensions.
And it's been weird because Willie got hit in the head, and then the next, I think, was it the next game or the game after, he gets hit again, and he just turns towards the Brewers dugout and says something.
Yeah, he causes that's twice now.
Issue, which pretty easy to tell what he's saying too. Like, hey, that's twice. It's not like he's saying "come at me," whatever. He's just saying, "Hey, that's twice." Everybody comes out of the dugouts. He gets fined, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, so he can't talk to him, can't throw at him. Like, it's all these different things. They're not allowed to even take care of it on the field. Instead, they just got to take all these hit by pitch. Just, you're going to get hit, especially up and in. You're going to get hit in the hands and in the face. Like, ugh.
Well, I liked what David Ross said when they interviewed him, and he said, I acknowledge that Tapera threw behind Woodruff, but I'm sure if we hit Christian Yelich as many times as they've hit Wilson Contreras, their guys would be doing the exact same thing.
I agree with
that.
I mean, back in the day, if the same player was getting hit a bunch, or if multiple players were getting hit in a game, I mean, look out at the next half of the inning, because somebody on your team's going to get hit somewhere.
And all he did was just send a message. He didn't hit him. He threw it at his feet. What were the Brewers doing? Throwing at Contreras' head.
Hit him in the ear hole, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Well, even Tapera said, back in the day, we used to handle these things in the game, during the game.
Yep.
You know, it would have been nice if he would have taken that suspension this weekend instead of appealing it.
Yeah.
There is that, unfortunately.
Yeah, if Tapera would have just taken a suspension, then he wouldn't have been able to give up the 3 runs they gave up yesterday. So there is that. But it's just the inconsistency. And even so we talked about it a couple episodes ago of the Nicholas Castellanos getting suspension. He appealed. And today it came out that he still has to serve his suspension, which is ridiculous. All he did was flex and say F yeah. Right in the face. So we can't be excited anymore. You're promote the game of it's fun and hey, do all this, but we don't want you to have any fun on the field. No fun.
Yeah, you know what? I don't get how a team can steal a World Series by cheating, and nothing happens to any of those douchebags. Nothing. But then there's players out there like A-Fraud that, you know, can juice and get suspended for 162 games or something. miss an entire season, but
did he even get that much? I thought it was 60 the first. I thought
the
he just
first
missed
time,
60.
but he missed an entire season. Like the second time he got busted, it was like 163 games. I think you have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure he missed an entire season.
We'll get the stat finders on that one. Research team.
Yeah, research
On
team.
that.
There we go.
Eric, research team, look it up.
Yeah, I mean, there's no consistency to any punishment in baseball. It's like this team can do this, and this player can do this, but if this player does this, he's screwed. He's getting suspended, fined. It's a load of shit.
Yeah, and I mean, we talk about like we want baseball to be fun. I don't know if you guys watched any of the Padres Dodgers games. Like I might stay up late sometimes just if they're playing just to watch those two teams play. The ending on Saturday night. So the Padres were down 2, 9th inning, 2 outs. I can't remember who was it. I think it was Hosmer hits a ball in the right center gap, and Mookie Betts full extension dives to catch to end the game. That would have been 2 runs. And there was guys on second and third. That would have tied the game. Full extension, lays out and dives and makes that catch to win that game. Like it's just like their games have been really exciting. They've been jawing at each other. They've been playing competitive, which is great. You love to see that. Like, remember when the Yankees and the Red Sox were competitive against each other, and you had the Pedro Martinez throwing down Don Zimmer. Like that's the type of rivalries that spark interest in baseball. And people, I mean, we don't need Don Zimmer getting thrown down again. I'm not supporting that, but we need some fun and excitement. But those are the things that we need. We need competition. Like the reason why basketball was big in the 90s, because the Bulls and the Knicks went at each other all the time, and there was hard competition. They played the game the right way. Like that's the type of thing that makes it fun. And these two teams are starting to make baseball really fun. And it sucks they play out west and nobody gets to watch them because they play so dang late.
Right.
But I would encourage you to watch them.
Nobody that lives on the east side of the Rocky Mountains gets to watch them.
And I think Darvish pitched that game. He pitched really, really well. I think he just gave up 1 run. But,
you know what's nuts in that division out there too is and it's early, but the Giants are number 2 in the NL West.
They've been playing.
So they're in the middle between them. Like it's a lot of good baseball.
Well, let's update you guys on our dinger pick. So every game, us 3 pick our player from the Cubs that we think is going to hit a home run that day. We started out pretty rough. We did not do well starting out, but lately when the Cubs started hitting a little bit more, so it's all dependent on how the Cubs are hitting. I've been going with Bryant. I went with Bryant on Saturday, picked up 2. And then yesterday I picked my man Rizzo. My mom told me to pick Rizzo on Friday and it didn't come through. I was like, I'll go back to that one. Let's go with Rizzo. I feel like he's going to have a big day, and he hits 2 dingers yesterday. So I'm taking a commanding lead 6. Kevin with 4, and then Jeff with a lonely 2 because he keeps on picking Jock Peterson to hit a homer. So one of these days, I mean, you probably have a better chance of picking Duffy at this point.
I'm not picking that loser, Jesus.
He might come off the bench and do a pinch hit dinger. You never know.
Or Marisnik.
You want me to put all my eggs in one basket on one pitch hit experience? I can't get a guy that can hit a home run in like 4 plate appearances.
How about this? The next time Duffy starts, you pick him.
How about no?
Not even willing.
No.
But folks at home, we're still trying to figure out what the loser is going to have to do.
For the winner.
I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, for the winner. The loser has to do something for the winner. Jeff.
It's a long season. Be confident, just like you are in the Cubs, that they're going to turn things around. You can turn things around.
A 6-pack of beer. No, you know what? Scratch that. The winner can buy me a 6-pack of Bratwurst.
Wait, why is the winner buying you something? You get to buy the winner something.
I'm not buying the winner anything. I'm holding out for my Bratwurst.
Oh my. This weekend, or this week, gosh, it's Monday, folks. Oh my. This week, first up is Walker versus Arrieta. Heard Walker's a bit of a power pitcher there, Mitch.
Yeah, I think he was with Toronto last year. But this Mets team has struggled to hit. They do have pretty good pitching. I mean, when you have Thor and when you have DeGrom, you're going to be in a lot of ball games. And I mean, Walker's good. He has some good stuff. His ball moves a lot, but we've seen a lot of guys be throwing gas to the Cubs. So hopefully they get ready for it. And I mean, we need these first two games because the game on Thursday is a little yikes with DeGrom versus Williams. I mean, Williams has pitched well. He pitched well on Saturday. So hopefully he can keep us in it. It's going to be one that we're going to have to jump on DeGrom, which do you remember the last time I think we played the Mets with DeGrom pitching?
Did we light him up?
I remember this game. We won 4-1, but it was Victor Caratini had two dingers. And I think he had all the RBIs in that game.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's
It was a strange game because it was like
2019.
He's in San Diego now. We don't have him.
We don't have him.
Gonna need someone to step up. Maybe
you can't pick him
Jock
for your
will step
dingers. You can't pick him for your dingers on Thursday.
Although I did want to pick a Pittsburgh Pirate and a Brewer.
On Wednesday, it's Peterson versus Davies. Peterson's a lefty. I don't know much about him. He's 1-1 this year so far, but we need to get one of the first two games or both of them if we want a series win against the Mets. So we're back at the drawing board.
Have we won a series yet this season?
We won the very first one.
First one.
And then we've lost the rest of them. So the big thing
it's
is
all been rubber games, like where it's
Yeah.
at the very end, that last game of the series.
So yeah, the big thing is like we need to kind of turn the page, and that's the good thing. Like hopefully this off day is good for the Cubs, and that's the good thing about baseball is you play the next day. Like you're right back at it, and that's the beauty of baseball. It's always there for you, even in your hard times. There's always a game every day. The next day, either at 1:20 or 7:05. Now it's been 6:10 or 6:40 because of the cold. They're playing earlier, but like. We just have to grind this out with them, have high morale, and be positive that these guys are good. We've seen them do well. It's that we get the opportunity to watch these players that we've loved for the last so many years play together. And so that's what we're going to kind of do and focus on to end the season and to keep pushing through the whole season long. So hopefully get these wins and get back on track. It's good to start playing other teams besides just the NL Central. That was good to see the Braves in town and play them, and it'll be good to play the Mets. You guys have any parting words?
No. Just stay positive, keep your head up. Things will get better. It's early.
There's 140 some games left this season, folks. We're gonna have a good time.
Be frustrated.
Yeah.
We will start doing a little bit more coverage of the Iowa Cubs once they get started here. I think it's like 2 weeks. They'll be starting kicking off, and so hopefully we can watch Cameron Maben and Nico Horner and some guys down at the Iowa Cubs, and we'll be going to some games. Maybe we'll even do a live episode down there at a game. So we'll be bringing coverage of the Iowa Cubs as well, because they're going to be with the Cubs eventually at some point, pitchers, and we know Nico will eventually at some point be up with the big club. So thanks for joining us this week on the Dingers podcast. Keep hanging in there. Go Cubs.
Good night, John Boy.
There.